Have you ever spent hours reading a brilliant book filled with powerful ideas that felt like they were changing your life, only to find that just a few weeks later, you can barely remember the main points? You're left with a vague feeling about the book, but the actual insights, the specific strategies, the life-changing arguments, they vanished. It's like your brain is a colander and all the wisdom just drained out. If this has ever happened to you, I want you to know this. You are not alone. This is the single most common frustration for passionate readers. But more importantly, it is not your fault. You don't have a bad memory. The problem isn't your hardware, it's your software. You were never taught how to read for retention. Today, that changes. Today, we're going to upgrade your mental software with a simple, powerful system that will transform you from a passive reader into an active learner and ensure you remember and, more importantly, use every important idea you ever read. For most of our lives, we've been sold a lie about reading. We're taught that reading is a passive, linear process. You open a book, your eyes move across the page. The information travels from the book into your brain and hopefully it sticks. We treat our brains like hard drives. Just save the file and it'll be there later. But neuroscience tells us this is completely wrong. Your brain isn't a hard drive, it's a living, evolving ecosystem. Information doesn't just get stored, it gets woven into a vast, interconnected neural network. If a new idea doesn't connect to anything, if it doesn't have any hooks, your brain, in its amazing efficiency, sees it as clutter and deletes it. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's how we avoid information overload. So the key to remembering isn't to try harder, it's to read smarter. It's to work with your brain's natural wiring, not against it. My goal today is to give you a 3-part framework that does exactly that. I call it the learning loop: prime, engage, and integrate. This isn't just about highlighting more or reading slower. This is a fundamental shift from being a consumer of information to becoming an active participant in the creation of your own understanding. Let's start with part 1, prime. Imagine you're going on a road trip to a new city. What's the very first thing you do? You don't just get in the car and start driving randomly. You put the destination into your GPS. You look at the map. You get a sense of the lay of the land. Most people never do this with a book. They just open to page 1 and start driving. No destination, no map. Is it any wonder they get lost and forget the journey? Priming is the act of setting your mental GPS before you read a single chapter. It takes 5 minutes, and it's the single biggest leverage activity for your reading comprehension and retention. Here's how you do it. First, interrogate the book. Don't start with chapter 1, start with the periphery. Read the back cover, the inside flap, and the table of contents. These are the author's clues to you about the book's core structure and argument. As you do this, you're activating your brain's reticular activating system (RAS), your brain's filtering system. You're essentially telling your brain, hey, pay attention. This is the important stuff to look for. Second, define your mission. Now, based on your quick scan, ask yourself one powerful question. What is the one thing I want to learn from this book? Let's make this practical. Say you're reading James Clear's Atomic Habits. Your mission question could be, how can I make building good habits effortless and breaking bad ones impossible? Do you see how different that is from just reading a book about habits? You are now a hunter and the book is your forest. You are searching for specific prey. This mission question transforms your reading from a passive activity into an active quest. Your brain is now primed, focused, and ready to engage. Now, let's move to part 2, engage. Okay, your brain is primed. You have your mission, now you start reading. This is where most people fail. They enter what I call passive reading mode. Their eyes are moving, but their brain is in neutral, thinking about dinner or that meeting tomorrow. To prevent this, we need to force our brain to stay engaged. And the best tool for this is something scholars and philosophers have been doing for centuries: marginalia, the art of talking back to the book. This is where you must break up with your highlighter. I know it's a passionate affair, it feels so productive. But highlighting is a cognitive placebo. It gives you the illusion of learning without the substance. You're just painting a yellow layer over forgetfulness. Instead, I want you to pick up a pen. And I want you to have a conversation with the author in the margins. This is active, not passive. Here are 3 ways to do that. Technique to point 1, the Feynman translation. When you come across a complex idea, stop. In the margin, write a 1 or 2 sentence summary in your own words. Explain it to yourself as if you were teaching it to a 12-year-old. This act of translation is a mental workout. It forces understanding. Technique to point 2, ask relentless questions. Become the most curious, slightly annoying person in the room. Write your questions in the margin. Questions are the engine of curiosity. They prevent you from just accepting information at face value and force you to think critically. Technique to point 3, forge the connections. This is perhaps the most powerful technique. Your brain remembers things through association. So when you read a new idea, actively search for how it connects to something you already know. You are literally weaving the new idea into your existing web of knowledge, giving it multiple hooks so it can't escape. When you engage like this, you are not just reading the book. You are co-creating the knowledge with the author. This brings us to the final and most crucial step. Part 3, integrate. You've primed your brain, you've engaged with the text. The final and most often skipped step is integration. This is the magic that happens after you close the book. Most people finish the last page, feel a sense of accomplishment, and then put the book on the shelf, where its ideas begin to decay immediately. Why? Because the neural pathways formed while reading are fragile. To make them permanent, you need to reinforce them. You need to forge the knowledge into understanding. My favorite way to do this is what I call the one-page fire. Here's the rule: when you finish a book or even a key chapter, you close it. You put it away, you take out one single piece of paper, and you set a timer for 15 to 20 minutes. Your task is to, from memory, recreate the core of the book on this one page. This is not a detailed summary. This is a distillation. You are forcing your brain to do the most important work, to separate the signal from the noise, to identify what was truly essential. How you do this is up to you. You can write a bullet point list of the top 5 to 10 big ideas. You can draw a mind map, showing how the concepts connect to one another. Let's go back to our atomic habits example. Your one-page fire might look like this. At the top, the main thesis, tiny changes, remarkable results, focus on systems, not goals. Then the 4 laws: 1. Make it obvious cue, habit stacking. 2. Make it attractive craving, temptation bundling. 3. Make it easy response, the 2-minute rule. 4. Make it satisfying reward, immediate reinforcement. That's it. You don't need every story or every statistic. You need the crystalline structure of the argument. This one page is incredibly powerful. First, it's a fantastic quick reference guide you can review in 2 minutes. But more importantly, the act of creating it is where the deepest learning occurs. You are rebuilding the knowledge from the ground up in your own mind. You are the architect. This page is no longer the author's book. It is your understanding of the book. This is the difference between knowing the path and walking the path. So let's look at the complete unforgettable reader system. But there's one more secret sauce I need to give you. To truly lock this in for the long term, you need to leverage spaced repetition. Your brain is designed to forget things it doesn't use. Spaced repetition is the hack to defeat this. It's the practice of reviewing information at increasing intervals. Here's your simple plan. Day 1, you finish the book and create your one-page fire. Day 2, review your one-page summary for 2 to 5 minutes. 1 week later, review it again for 2 minutes. 1 month later, one final quick review. That's it. These tiny, strategic reviews signal to your brain, this information is important, keep it. This is how you move knowledge from your short-term memory into your long-term, readily available mental library. Now, you have a choice. You can watch this video, think that was interesting, and go back to your old reading habits. Or you can decide that from this moment on, you will be a different kind of reader. Your call to action is this. Your very next reading session will be different. It doesn't have to be a whole book. It can be a long article, a report, a chapter. I want you to apply the full learning loop just once. Prime your brain with a question, engage with a pen in your hand. And when you're done, take 5 minutes to write down the core ideas on a single note card. I want you to experience the profound difference. I want you to feel the power of truly owning an idea. And when you do, I desperately want to hear about it. Come back to this video and comment, tell me, what did you read? What was the one big insight you locked in? Let's build a community of master learners right here in the comments. Remember, the goal of reading isn't to have a beautiful bookshelf. The goal isn't even to have read a lot of books. The true goal is to have a mind that has been expanded, shaped, and improved by the books you've read. It's to let those ideas change you, to give you new tools, new perspectives, and new wisdom. You have the system, you have the power. The final step is yours. Thanks for watching. Now go forth and read unforgettably.